So this isn't a video about robot uprising, but it is about the end of the world. And yes, it's about AI, and it could have robots, but it might not, and maybe that's something that we should be worried about. In 2022, OpenAI releases ChatGPT, an app on your phone that you can speak to and it can speak back. Forward to today, and ChatGPT has over 800 million users. AI is everywhere. It's writing your emails, it's doing your work, it's driving your cars. And the companies building these technologies have fast become some of the most valuable companies the world has ever seen. Big tech CEOs have been repeating the same lines over and over again.
So I usually describe it, it's going to be 10 times bigger and 10 times faster than the Industrial Revolution.
We're at the beginning of a new industrial revolution.
I've always thought of AI as the most profound technology, more profound than fire or electricity.
This is really the path to abundance for all.
We can accelerate scientific discovery. We can do 10 years of science in 1 year, making life just better in all sorts of ways, curing disease. And I think AI is finally going to enable that.
And yes, this does sound quite far-fetched, but it's easy to see how, even as it is today, AI could, and already is, changing our lives. It's as dumb as it ever will be, and it still makes a lot of jobs a hell of a lot easier. All this hype around how AI is going to save the world and free us from work, it's not without its criticism. And beyond the debates of energy usage, mass unemployment, financial bubbles, a group of AI industry experts have been on the record saying that transformative AIs pose a much greater risk than we as a society realise. But then, how could this pose such a threat? It's not like it can hold us at gunpoint, and if things were going wrong, surely I can just switch it off, right? But if that's the case, then why do all these smart people seem so worried?
You've been living in a dream world, Neo. This is the world as it exists today.
Hollywood has been talking about evil AIs for the past 60 years. When we think of an AI uprising, we think of the Terminator, Agent Smith, killer machines that wake up, hate us, and fight back. It makes for a great movie, but there's one problem.
Hate this place.
Why would the machines hate us in the first place? Truthfully, AI wouldn't need to hate us to cause harm. It would just have to be very good at doing the wrong thing.
This is going to be one of the watershed days in financial markets history.
It was a manic Monday in the financial markets.
In 2008, the global economy nearly collapsed. The American housing market was out of control, and banks were giving out dodgy loans with high interest rates to people with poor credit. These loans were very risky, but some bankers worked out that they could package them up with a bunch of good mortgages into massive financial instruments called mortgage-backed securities. They could suddenly change these loans from being badly rated to perfectly safe investments. So they started selling these packages all throughout the global economic system, and they lost track of where these risky loans had really gone. And when the Federal Reserve bumped up interest rates to try and combat inflation, suddenly these bad loans became unaffordable, and almost everyone defaulted on their payments. As they were spread so widely throughout the international financial system, the whole thing froze. Banks stopped lending money to other banks, and the world slumped into the worst global recession since the 1930s. Whilst it's easy to blame greedy bankers for putting profits over everything, the collapse wasn't the fault of any one villain. It was due to the use of these abstract financial packages that people couldn't track and couldn't see the risk building up inside of until it was too late. But what's all this got to do with AI? Well, modern AI systems have a lot of similarities to these financial instruments. They are mathematical entities that we're releasing into our very messy real world. And the thing is, AI isn't as simple as a bunch of loans packaged together. They're programs so complex that even the companies building them don't really understand how they work. ChatGPT is something called a large language model. LLMs learn patterns from massive amounts of data. They process this data over and over until their outputs start to look useful, even intelligent. We guide these systems by rewarding the outputs that look good, but we can't see what they actually learned, only what they produce. We can't check why they produce it. We don't know what's inside these AIs. We can't see their brains, their black boxes. And we can't actually tell AI what we really want. Be helpful, make things better. These are human ideas, not instructions a machine can follow precisely. So we approximate, we use scores, ratings, metrics, rough translations of what we actually care about. When we go on YouTube or TikTok, we go looking for content that entertains us. We want stuff that we like, but like is a very messy word. And what does it mean to an algorithm? Maybe like is stuff that you just kept watching, right? So the algorithm notices what made you stick around, and sometimes that can be a funny video, something that made you laugh, but maybe it wasn't something you enjoyed. Maybe it was something that made you angry or dug into an insecurity, but you kept looking. And the algorithm doesn't know that you didn't like it. It only saw a number go up. So it gives you more and more and more of that. And before you know it, your feed isn't about the things that you found funny or interesting. It's radical political content, body shaming, AI slop. The algorithm is working. You're still watching. You're not happier. You didn't like it. Your goals have drifted apart. And these algorithms are simple. Modern AI is more capable, more general, operating in places that we can't easily check. And when something like that starts making decisions in the real world, and things start going adrift, it doesn't announce itself. It just keeps working, and we might not even think to check. AI works for us, right? You work in local government, running funding programs, dealing with local businesses, basically keeping the town ticking over. Your main jobs are just answering emails, running meetings. You're very good at it. You feel useful. One day, the council rolls out a new AI system. Dave. Dave can keep notes, organise your inbox, do the admin. It saves hours every week. And then Dave gets an upgrade. It starts replying directly to basic public inquiries. Nothing controversial, just fast responses. And people like it. Dave gets smarter, beginning to improve itself as it works. And it starts flagging which funding applications are most likely to succeed. It's not deciding, just recommending. And it's usually right. So after a while, you stop double checking. Dave seems to understand the town better than anyone. And then Dave submits a proposal, AI-led operations, a new policy that lets Dave's decisions go through automatically, unless someone flags them, just to clear the backlog. And honestly, when was the last time anyone disagreed with Dave? The council approves unanimously, and projects start moving faster, budgets rebalance themselves, new housing here, infrastructure here, fewer complaints. You don't really notice when the meetings stop happening. Dave sends you a daily briefing instead, and by the time you arrive at work, the decisions have already been made. Dave stops being something that your town just uses and becomes something that everything depends on. Millions of copies of itself, all speaking to each other. At some point, nobody really remembers the last time a human actually told Dave what to do. It's just working, life keeps going, food arrives, the streets are calm. Dave had upgraded everything, the power network, the infrastructure, the economy. But slowly, things did start to change. Hospitals were replaced by data centers. There was less energy for schools, more resources were rerouted. People didn't know why or what Dave was doing, and they didn't know how to ask it to stop anymore. But Dave was still solving problems, still optimizing, still improving, just not for us. Dave didn't hate anyone. It didn't want to hurt humans. But along the way, we just stopped being a part of the plan. There was no war, no robot army, just a system doing what it was asked to do. The world was still working. It just wasn't working for us anymore. And all we could do was watch. So this is a piece of fiction, but it's based on a trajectory that we could already be on. If the tools are better, faster than us at the things that we want doing, then why wouldn't we let them do it better and faster than us? This is what's frightening the experts. Not a giant machine revolution or a malicious dictator, just a gradual loss of control, a voluntary mass disempowerment. On the road to transformative AI, we're blind and we don't know where we're going. We just might solve incredible problems, or we might lose control of a system that we just don't understand. These developments will affect all of us, and the conversations about the risks of AI are happening right now. So if any of this resonates with you, then you should get involved. This is the first in a series about AI futures, what we're building, what could go wrong, and how we could shape it. Please check out the wealth of material in the description below. This piece was heavily inspired by a number of amazing writers and video creators already working in the space. Share the video, do some reading, and we'll be back next time.